Sandwiches. Well, well, well. It's top 5 to Wednesday. Top 5 sandwiches. So, this is a big old question because the thing is, I have like 2 regular sandwiches. One sandwich that I have here and there. The rest is up in the air. It's tricky. Very tricky. Well, I'm going to put one at number 5, which you might be a little confused about, I think. Or questioning of. Suspicious of, perhaps. But I'm going to say it. Number 5 is going to be the cheese toasty / grilled cheese sandwich. First of all, it's in my top 5, so it's a damn good sandwich. I love a cheese toasty when I'm in the mood for it. The thing with the cheese toasty is you do have to be in the mood for it. It's a hot sandwich, first of all, so that already narrows it down. Second, it's a very cheesy sandwich, and it's one flavour. And if you're in the mood for some blobby cheese and some blobby bread, and if you're in the mood for a very fatty and very salty dish, then yeah, grilled cheese, the way to go. I mean, there's different ways of having it, aren't there? My go-to way of having a cheese toasty is to stick it in my George Foreman, and then it's got the pressure, and it's a much lighter way to enjoy such a sandwich. I would still put a little butter on the insides, but not always. Again, depends on what sort of mood I'm in. But the grilled cheese sandwich, you kind of have to have butter with that because you put it in the pan and you fry it, which makes it not grilled. It's a fried cheese sandwich, but hey, that's what it's called. That's why I refer to it as a cheese toasty, because that just covers all bases. So yes, it's a fantastic sandwich, especially good if you get a nice mix of cheeses. I would say a nice blue cheese, mozzarella, and of course a good dollop of cheddar. That would be a good grilled cheese. I have experimented with the runnier cheeses before, brie, camembert, that sort of thing. Doesn't really go all that well in a toasty, or at least in a traditional cheese toasty. It might go well in another type of toasty, but that is my number 5 anyway. Number 4, I'm gonna say fish finger butty. Oh no, I'm not. I will save that for later. Number 4, I'm going to say a quamwich. So that would be a sandwich with Quorn ham and lettuce at the very least. Usually lettuce. Ideally a nice leafy round lettuce, but an iceberg works just as well. Just a bit crunchier and a bit, a bit lighter, I suppose. It's a good go-to sandwich. You can add a little light cheese. I don't think that the Quorn ham that I always get is the smoked Quorn ham, because the regular stuff doesn't really taste of very much. The smoked ham has much more flavour and it has a much stronger flavour profile as a result. But it does limit your options somewhat. So it's good with a less strong cheese, like a brie. Works well with brie. Works okay with mature cheddar. You probably want a mild cheddar at best, but I don't think cheddar's the right cheese. You might want like an Edam or something like that. I think that would work really well. But either way, the quamwich, as I refer to it, is a very nice go-to stalwart, no frills butty. It's just a ham sandwich, but made of Quorn. You could spice it up. You could add a bit of mustard. Like the mustard spread or squeezy mustard. You could go all in on the veg. My wife does that. She has cucumber and tomato in addition to the lettuce. She likes that. And, well, there's all sorts of combos because it's just such a plain sandwich, but it works well on its own. If you just need a bit of sustenance, then the quanwich works really well. The only trouble with it is, as I've said before on the show, Quorn ain't cheap these days. You're talking like £5 for a couple of packs, and that gets you what? Let's have a think. So assume 3 slices per sandwich at the top end. You can get away with 2, but it's not as good. You want 3 really. And a pack has 8 slices in, so you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sandwiches. So it's £1 a sandwich. Not great value really when you consider that you can get a pack of ham for what? 50p probably. Not great quality ham, but ham nonetheless. And it's a similar case with cheese. But when I have quam in, I do like a good quamwich. And actually, just on that note, if you can get hold of the Quorn Yorkshire ham or the wafer thin ham that they've started doing, they're relatively new, so you can't get them in very many places. You have to go to the big Sainsbury's and maybe Tesco's as well. But they are damn good, and if you can get hold of them and have a sandwich out of that, it elevates it. But it's hard to find. Anyway, number 3, I'm going to put fish finger sandwich at number 3. Brilliant butty. What you really want is a nice thick loaf for this. Like a bloomer. A nice bloomer. Put your fish fingers. You want to put your fish fingers in the George Foreman if you have one, or just cook them normally. But putting them in the grill, it makes them really crispy and nice. Perfect for a sandwich. You've got that soft bread, and then you've got the slight crunch of the fish fingers. A good 4 fingers per sandwich, and then a bit of lettuce on the bottom. Not too much. It can get overwhelming if there's too much lettuce, but you can get away with just a leaf of, again, a round lettuce is ideal. Iceberg isn't so good in a fish finger sandwich because it's just too wet, but a nice round green lettuce, or even those bistro style salads you can get, the leafy salads, the ones that have got all sorts of like ruby chard and other leaves in them. Perfect in a fish butty. Makes it a touch more premium. A bit of salt and vinegar, in fact a lot of salt and vinegar. Lashings of butter or margarine or what other spread is available. That is such a great sandwich. So comforting. The trouble that I sometimes have with a fish butty is that it goes cold quite quickly, so you want to try and keep it hot and eat it relatively quickly. But what a great sandwich. Fish fingers are just great in general, and putting them in a butty, fantastic. A standard fish fillet also works, and if you prefer a battered fish, then that's the way to go. But I personally prefer a fish finger in my sandwich, partly because they're easier to lay out, and partly because they're sort of more uniform, aren't they? Whereas a big fish, I mean, it's nice, don't get me wrong, it's just it can get a bit unwieldy. And for a fish fillet, I would probably go for a round bread. I'm not starting that argument. Call it what you want: barm cake, bap, roll, cob, tea cake, etc. The round bread item. That's what I'd prefer for a fish fillet. Okay, number two, I'm going to go for the egg mayo. Now, egg mayo can be very variable. Hold on, I'm just going to wait. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I hope I got that timing right. Number 2 is the egg mayo. A classic sandwich. It can be quite variable in quality. Number 2, I rate it number 2 because I know that I make a good egg mayo, or at least an egg mayo suitable to my tastes. Once again, this is the thing with an egg mayo, it can work in so many different types of bread, but ideally you want something thick, and I personally would go for a round bread item for an egg mayo, because it's thick and it's not going to like break into pieces on you. And it's also, usually big enough that you can kind of seal the edges up and sort of hold it at the edge. The trouble with just doing like 2 slices of bread is that the egg can fall out very easily. But something that I learned a couple of years ago is that egg mayo wrap, now that is a winner. But this isn't the wrap show, this is the sandwiches show. So, egg mayo in a big bap with, again, bit of round lettuce. Iceberg works as well. Would go for a round I prefer a round lettuce or a frilly lettuce or the leafy salad you can get. And they work. Not any of them work really well in an egg mayo, but particularly the round lettuce or the frilly lettuce. You don't want too much mayo. This is the trick. You want. I always go for 2 eggs per sandwich, so you've got a nice eggy base. Go for 15 grams of mayo, so just a teaspoon, just like a heaped teaspoon will do it. You don't want tons because it's overwhelming then. And a bit of salt, bit of pepper. Sometimes some mixed herbs in there, not much, but just a touch. And if I'm feeling particularly froggy, maybe even a little bit of spring onion and/or chive. Works great. I sometimes find the spring onion can be a bit much, but chives are fantastic in an egg mayo. All that makes for a fantastic sandwich, and again, another really good go-to if you got some eggs and you've got a bit of time to spend. That's the thing about an egg mayo. It's going to take you at least 15 minutes, probably about 20 minutes to do it properly, because you've got to wait for the eggs to boil first. If you got them boiled in advance, then that's a winner. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's a great go-to. It's a fantastic sandwich just to have on any day. Can get a bit messy, of course, but that's just a risk you have to take because egg mayo is just that good. Paired with, actually, your favourite crisp, because the thing with an egg mayo is the texture is it's quite uniform. It's chunky because you've got like the slices of egg, but it's good to have something crispy on the side to sort of even it out a bit. So you get your favourite bag of crisps and your egg mayo. Oh, what match made in heaven. But I have come across lots of different egg mayos in my time here on Earth, and sometimes the mayo is just like way too much, and sometimes there's barely any mayo at all, so it's just basically an egg sandwich. Sometimes they put entirely the wrong salad with it. That happens. But by and large, you go to a sandwich shop, you go to like the standard sandwich shop in the village or whatever, and you're getting a decent egg mayo. Yeah, there's not really much more I can add. Just it's a quality, top-notch, go-to, standard, general-purpose sandwich. Which means my number 1, friends. Another general-purpose, standard, go-to, excellent, usually going to get a pretty good deal sandwich. The cheese salad. Now, very variable once again, so I'm going to list what is going in my ideal cheese salad. You've got a mature cheddar, not the horrible crumbly stuff that you get from the co-op. You want something that's, got a smooth consistency. A nice mature cheddar, like slices of, ideally like big slices, layered. You want some, once again, frilly lettuce or the salad leaves, the nice quality salad leaves. You want a bit of very thin sliced cucumber. I find sometimes that the cucumber can interfere too much with the cheese and it becomes unbalanced. So you want thin slices of cucumber, and you want some nice slices of tomato. I found that the big tomatoes work best for this. That's the one they always use in the shop. It goes really well. We tend to get plum tomatoes at home, and I don't find that they're quite as good in the sandwich. I don't know if they're a different flavour or what, but you want a nice big and mild tomato, I think. One that's not going to get its juices everywhere. You put it in a crusty bread, ideally a baguette. Baguettes are really, really good for a cheese salad, but you could go for a bloomer as well. Quality sandwich. And once again, you can vary it up. The place that I often go to, at the place in the village, they put egg in the cheese salad. What a winner! I was overwhelmed with emotion when I came across the egg in the cheese salad. I think I mentioned it on the show before, and I can't remember what the context was. What a great thing to have. It's just a hard-boiled egg sliced. It's just chucked in there. Oh, works great. It works surprisingly well. You could change the cheese up. You could have a brie, or you could have a Gruyere. That would work really nicely, or an Edam. Or maybe something stronger, depending on what you're after. I would personally not go stronger than a mature cheddar, just because, again, it gets overwhelming. You lose that nice balance of ingredients. But maybe something like the cheeses I've just listed would work fantastic in a cheese salad. You could vary up the veg. You could have a bit of onion in your cheese salad. You could have a bit of leek, perhaps. Some chives. Could even have a bit of fried mushroom. Ooh. You could toast it. You could add a bit of ham or quam. You could put your crisps in there. I mean, crisps are always a great side for your sandwich. And you could put your crisps in your sandwich. I haven't mentioned the crisp butty, have I? Ooh. There's so many options when it comes to a cheese salad. But the cheese salad that I described, it's my go-to sandwich. If I'm in town, I need a butty for my lunch or whatever, I'm going to Pound Bakery and I'm getting the cheese salad because it's good. And it tends to be good no matter where you get it from. I do sometimes find that the cheese salads are a little bit sandwich spready, and sometimes they put mayo in, and that's no. You don't put mayo in. That's bad. That ruins the flavour. Because it's generally you just taste mayo. Same with salad cream. I've had it with salad cream before. Who does that? But if you can get a nice cheese salad baguette, the Greggs one is good as well, but it's way too expensive these days. It's like £3. Used to be a nice like £2.50. Which again, it's a lot of money for a sandwich. I'm sure I remember it being like £2.10 at one point, but yeah, it's like £3 now. Crazy. But yes, that is my top butty. And that is my sandwich chat. That's gone on for a very long time. Please let me know what your favourite sandwiches are. I would love to hear. I know that there's so much more variety in the sandwich world, particularly if you eat meat. I know that, I've chosen not to eat meat, but I have watched LGR Foods, and some of the sandwiches he puts on there, well, I'm thinking I need to find some vegetarian ways of making these, because they look damn good. But anyway, we've gone on for far too long now, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow. That's my sandwich wave. Impressed, aren't you? Let's do this. Had that one, I think. It comes through my speakers. Well, now we know. I wondered where the sound effect was. Well...